A new survey suggests millions of Americans are struggling in the shadows, even before the widely expected recession arrives. The survey by LendingTree found almost half of Americans now use buy now, pay later, so you get the goods now and you pay in installments. That's up 18 times since pre-pandemic. And almost 1 in 10 Americans are literally using buy now, pay later to buy their groceries. This matches other data saying millions of Americans are running into trouble, and this is just the first inning. Last week, CNBC reported that over half of Americans now live paycheck to paycheck, meaning they have no emergency funds at all, and 70% of Americans are financially stressed. That's up by half since pre-COVID. But don't worry, Biden tells us the economy is, quote, strong as hell. Now, a big part of what's driving all this was lockdown handouts that pushed millions of Americans to ramp up the lifestyle and wind down the income. Between 3 rounds of stimulus checks, unemployment compensation that at one point was paying $2,600 per month and went for ultimately 53 weeks, paired with temporary, no questions asked benefits during the pandemic, and soaring blue-collar wages since millions of Americans were being paid to chill on the couch. Between all of that, people spent more and they worked less. But that's all gone at this point. Real wages have now fallen going on 3 years straight. They're now down to just $1,500 per month in median full-time earnings. So the trillion-dollar mirage ran out of money, and now reality is hitting. In just the past 16 months, credit cards are up $130 billion, hitting a new record that obliterated the stimulus check payoffs. 43% of those cards are carrying balances, meaning people cannot pay them off every month, so they are accruing interest at a nationwide average of 21%. As bad as that is, now people are flocking to the next rung down the ladder, driving that 18x jump in buy now, pay later. Now, the problem here is that these revolving credit schemes can be a trap for the very low-income people who use them. For starters, buy now, pay later can charge late fees ranging from $8 to $15 or 25% of every single purchase, plus the NSF or overdraft fees, and horror stories about being charged for canceled orders or trying to rebuild credit after an error gets sent to collections. One survey found 42% of buy now, pay later users have in fact made late payments and got to develop that deeper relationship with their lender. But the worst part is that long-term buy now, pay later plans can charge an annual rate up to 36%. That's almost double the 21% on credit cards and literally entering mafia territory. Taken together, these can put low-income people on a treadmill that gets faster and faster, going deeper into debt that grows faster than they can pay it off. Now, zooming out, between the car loan defaults, the mortgage bust, the crashing business loans, and 18x jumps in revolving credit, we are seeing a picture of top-line GDP numbers that say everything is fine. But if you look under the numbers at what people are actually doing, working 2 to 3 jobs to get by, buying groceries on installment, it suggests there are millions of people struggling already. If you throw in the widely expected recession, you conclude that if things don't change, if we don't cut federal spending, normalize rates, free up job creation, we could see millions of those struggling Americans lose their grip altogether. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.